Hey there, it's Lynette, and wanted to jump in here and create a short video on something that I was talking to a friend about today that I think is something that everybody would benefit from knowing about. And this is just my understanding of how things work. And so you can take it with a grain of salt. This is my understanding and thought it was valuable to share. So that's why I'm doing this video. So, what I want to talk about is our connection to Source or God. And there's been a lot of talk around God and Jesus and our connection to God and who is God? Should we worship God? And the conversation I had today with my friend is that we are all Source. We are all part of Source. We are fractals of Source. And what that means is that Source learns and expands through us, through our experiences in all of our incarnations. And we all have many, many, many millions of incarnations in many forms: trees and rocks and planets and stars and other beings and other forms of all forms. Doing past life regressions, there was a client that I had that was, I mean, they've been everything. One was a consciousness of a planet, and he was a tree in a past life, and he was like the first tree on the planet, and many, many. I mean, you name it. I had somebody who was a crystal that was being formed, and like you name it. It's pretty much out there. So we incarnate as a way of expanding not only our soul's consciousness, and so, because we want to experience all things, everything, and even in when we incarnate in the human form, we are incarnating in a third density. This is a 3D planet. It's a physical planet. When we are in other forms, we may be in a fifth dimensional form, which is more of a light being, fifth dimension and higher. You're essentially light. And so some of my clients, when they drop into a past life, they're actually a light being. You know, they drop in and I ask them, "What are you?" And they said, "Well, I'm light." And I say, "Well, can you take physical form?" And some of them say, "Yes, yep, I can take physical form." And then they take whatever that physical form is in that lifetime. At our core, we are all light. That's what we are as our core. And in this physical body, we are a fractal of our soul. Our bodies can't hold our entire soul. It's too much, or we would explode because it's too much energy. So we are just a fractal of our soul. And the rest of our soul, is in another dimension. We can actually incarnate Our soul can incarnate in multiple physical forms at the same time. That's what twin flames are. Twin flames are two beings of the same soul that are incarnated at the same time. And so sometimes we meet our twin flames and sometimes we don't. It just depends on what we've scripted for that particular lifetime. So, anyways, we are all source. Jesus is an ascended master and was sent to earth, many, many years ago to be the light. He was bringing that higher level of consciousness to the planet. We were very, very, very dense back then when Jesus was here. And there are many, many stories of people that have had past life regression who spent lives with Jesus, who walked with Jesus. Look up Dolores Cannon's books on Jesus and the Essenes. Perfect example of, you can listen to all the stories of all of her past life regressions that she's had with people that had a life with Jesus. I've had clients who have had lives with Jesus. So he was here to bring the light. And we as humans, being what humans do, took, his life and turned it into the Bible, and we worshiped him and turned it into religions and made it, put a lot of dogma around it and everything else. He did not want that. That was not his intention. He says, "Do not worship me. I am you. We are him. Like, we are all one." That's the thing about being all of us being from source, is that we are all source. So there is no you, there is no me. We are all source. We're all one. So the idea that we are separate is it's a false narrative. We are all one. All one. We're one collective, one consciousness, and we have all been all things, through all of our lifetimes, on all of our incarnations. We have been all things. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. I'm sure this topic could go way deeper, but that's just what I wanted to bring forth today as a topic of conversation. So I would love to hear your comments on this. This, again, is how I understand things to be. And I know that there's going to be a lot of feedback, as disagreement with this, but through everything that I've learned through Dolores Cannon's work, especially if you really want to expand your mind, look into Dolores Cannon. I would start with her book called The Custodians, although you can start anywhere. Jesus and the Essenes. There's the Keepers of the Garden. There's the if you're gonna dive into Convoluted Universe, you want to start with the Custodians and then go into Convoluted Universe 1 through however many books she's had. She's got a ton of them. So highly recommend her books. And that'll help give you a deeper, deeper, deeper understanding of how the world works. And I know it's been a journey for me reading her books as of last summer and until today, and just bringing through that understanding that we are all one. And also that we are going through ascension right now. We shifted into 4D, into a 4D planet, into 4D consciousness as of the end of last year on the winter solstice. So that is all I have to say today. But I definitely want to hear your feedback and hear what you have to say. So post it below. Thanks.